Hi everyone, welcome to Health, Safety, and Nutrition here at Fox Valley Tech. My name is Erica Burnt and I will be your instructor for this course. I look forward to working with all of you, getting to know you better throughout the semester, and help give you a better understanding of health, safety, and nutrition as it relates to children and families in the early childhood field. As you click through the slides, some of them will have videos of me talking and explaining the material. Other slides are very self-explanatory, so go ahead and get started, click through, take notes, and certainly feel free to reach out if you have any questions or concerns along the way. I am here to help support you and help you succeed in this course. I look forward to working with all of you. All right, this next slide gives you a glimpse into my life. This is my family. My husband is in the top left corner. He and I have been married for just about 19 years, and we're looking forward to being empty nesters in a couple of years and just kind of traveling and doing some things that we haven't been able to do in a while. So that is my husband, Kurt, and below that picture is a picture of my daughter and I. Kendall is 16 years old, and she's currently a junior at Appleton North High School. She is incredibly musically talented and plans to pursue a music education with a minor in saxophone performance. So she wants to travel after college and play in some orchestras or symphonies, not quite sure where that's going to lead her, but she's really looking forward to that. The bottom right hand is a picture of Kendall and our son Carter. Carter is 15 years old and he's a sophomore at Appleton North High School. So they are just a year apart, almost to the day, but he's incredibly funny. He's the funny one of our family. He loves cars and video games and engineering and learning how things work. Not quite sure what he's going to do with that yet, but he's exploring and having fun learning new things. The picture on the bottom in the middle is a picture of the two of them when we went to Destin last spring break. We love to go to Florida. We are a big Disney family, but last year we went to the beach and soaked up the sun and had some fun on some wave runners and just playing in the ocean. So that's a picture of them at one of the restaurants we went to. Above that in the middle is a picture of our three dogs. The top picture, that is Daisy and Cooper. They are brother and sister German short hair pointers. Cooper is a big baby. He loves to snuggle. And Daisy is, we call her the Dominator because she is just big and strong and has tons of energy. And then we have Max. Max is in the middle. He is a wire-haired dachshund and he's my baby. So he kind of goes everywhere with me. I wish I could bring him to school, but he is 13 years old. So we've had him for a really long time. And I just love puppy snuggles. At the end of the day, it's just the best. So I joke with my husband all the time that when our kids graduate and go to college that we're just going to get all the dogs and just have a house full of dogs and just be happy. And yeah, so that's my family. In the summer, you can see that top right hand picture. We're all wearing the same shirt. In the summer, my family and I are part of the Webfooter water ski team in Fremont. So it's a water ski team that puts on themed water ski shows. They do pyramids and jumps and all kinds of cool stuff all through the summer. So we participate in that. So we're on the water a lot and we enjoy just doing that as a family. In the winter, which we tend to have many more months of winter than we do summer here in Wisconsin, we are a big snowmobile family, so we like to go up north to our cabin, go snowmobiling, and just enjoy the beautiful weather and snow. So yeah, that's a little about my family, and I look forward to reading more about you in our discussion boards, or if we're in person, I look forward to talking about it and just getting to know you. This next slide talks about my education. I think it's important just to kind of see that where I started is where you are right now. So I actually started at Fox Valley Tech in the early childhood program many years ago, but I was a student in the early childhood program. I received my associate's degree in early childhood and then also an administrative credential focusing on the budget and finance management part of an early childhood center. After I graduated from the tech, I started working in the field. I taught 4K for quite a few years, and I also transitioned into administrative positions, working more with the families and the staff. I ended up finishing my career in the early childhood field as an assistant director. I did that for about 7 years. I really enjoyed working with the staff. I enjoyed growing their knowledge. I enjoyed mentoring. I loved working with the families. I'm very passionate about health, safety, and nutrition, about the rules and how they pertain to children and keep children safe. So I really enjoyed my role doing that. Prior to coming back to Fox Valley Tech as an instructor. While I was working in the field the last 11 years, I decided to continue my education. I went back to University of Wisconsin-Green Bay, got a bachelor's of science in organizational leadership. I learned a lot about mentoring and leadership and how to build cohesive teams and collaborate. It's been a really helpful tool to kind of have in my teacher pocket when I was working with staff, and now even as I'm working with students as an instructor. And I'm currently, excuse me, currently going to school for a master's of science in leadership and organizational development. So again, learning a lot about leadership and how to manage teams and collaborate and build those cohesive, positive environments that people enjoy working in, whether that be the early childhood field or in a different field. It's a great thing to have those qualities and be able to manage people in a positive and fair way. So I'm really enjoying my education at Lakeland, and I think that it's important in this field, especially, I'm sure in other fields too, but I think it's so important to continue your education because the field is constantly changing. Rules are changing, regulations are changing, high quality indicators are changing. So you have to stay up with the things that are changing and evolving in our field to be effective at what you do and to be the best educator you can. So a lifelong learner here. I really enjoy it. I enjoy the challenge, but I encourage you to just kind of keep that in mind as you go through the program, that you're never just going to be finished learning about the field because it's always evolving. So moving on to the next slide. This next slide talks about some important things that you will want to continue to revert back to. First and foremost being the syllabus. If you click on the Start Here in Syllabus tab in Blackboard on the left column, you will be able to find your syllabus, the content outline, some other information about setting up your Pronto or Blackboard support, that kind of stuff in that Start Here in Syllabus tab. The first thing I really want you to take a look at is the syllabus. Many of the syllabi here at Fox Valley Tech are similar. A lot of the wording is the same, but you will want to focus on the specifics for our class. So that top section on the syllabus is going to give you all of the course information, when we meet, how we meet, whether it's virtual, online, in person. It's going to give you all that information. It has my email, my office number, as well as my office telephone number. There are many ways to contact me. Email and Pronto are probably the easiest, but take a look at that syllabi and let me know if you have any questions as we go through the course, maybe as you're just starting to read it. Don't hesitate to reach out. The next thing you're going to want to review, and I recommend either keeping a copy saved on your computer or printing a hard copy, is the content outline. That is going to indicate each week that we will be meeting. It will also give you the topics that we're going to be talking about that week, as well as any assignments or expectations for the week, and then the due dates. That is a very important sheet to hold on to. It basically gives you the outline for how to pass the course. So I recommend that you, like I said, keep a copy on your computer or print it and keep it handy as you're working on your assignments. The next part that's important to talk about is the participation or the discussion board expectations and grading guidelines. Again, you're going to find that information in the Start Here and Syllabus tab. If you just scroll down a little bit, it's going to identify those key expectations and how I grade discussion board posts. Every week I will give clear instructions on what prompts you're supposed to answer, and then also how many classmate responses you're going to be required to do. So make sure you check that out. Again, with communicating with me, please, if you haven't done so already, set up your Fox Valley Tech email, as well as enabling your Pronto. The Pronto app is free, and all of our courses are going to use it, so please make sure that you set it up and that you check it often. That is going to be the key way of communicating with me. A couple things about Blackboard. Super handy. It gives us a lot of great tools to use for instructing, but one thing to note is that when you're using Blackboard or the assignments, you're going to want to use the Google Chrome server. So I don't know if it's just the way that other devices or other programs don't align with Blackboard or what exactly it is, but Google Chrome is what you're going to want to use when you're using Blackboard and doing your work every week. So keep that in mind. Also, all assignments will be submitted on Blackboard. You will not have to hand anything in. You will not have to email me any assignments. There will be links for every assignment in Blackboard in the specific identified week. So you'll want to make sure to take a look at that. Each week module will be open by Monday morning at 7 a.m. You'll see all of the modules set up the same. The top portion is going to be the learning expectations. So you'll see the course competencies that we're going to be touching on for that particular week. I will also put information about the expectations for the week, if there are things that you need to read or videos you need to watch. There will always be a PowerPoint for the week that you'll go through and listen either to me talk, or you'll do assessments or assignments throughout the PowerPoint presentation. So you want to make sure that you check that out. The next part is going to be the weekly content. So if you click on that weekly content folder, it's going to bring you to another section, and that's going to be the place that I house the PowerPoint for the week, any articles or readings that you're expected to do, any videos that you need to watch, and then other resources or tools that are just handy and helpful that you'll want to hold on to. That final tab, the assignments tab, that's where you're going to find the links for any assignments that you have to turn in. So that information will give you the date that it's due, the specific information on what the assignment is, as well as the expectations. There will always be a rubric attached so that you can clearly see how I'm going to grade and what you need to do. I suggest before turning in any assignments that you pull that rubric up and take a look at it to make sure that you're meeting all of the criteria. Often I do allow revisions if you turn your original assignment in on time. So if that's something that you're interested in, just reach out to me. Again, I care more about you retaining the information and learning than just doing it right the first time. So ask questions, reach out, and we'll just kind of learn together and we'll go from there. We are lucky in this class that you do not have to purchase any textbooks. Both of the textbooks that we will use for this course are linked in Blackboard. On the left-hand column, in the blue column, if you scroll down a little bit, there will be a spot that says textbook links, and that will take you right to this section with both of the books. The first one, the OER, Safety, Health, and Nutrition by Jennifer Paris. We will use that more so in the beginning of the course. You'll have a few readings to do, to, but you'll definitely want to refer back to it as we progress through the course. The second book is the Department of Children and Families, or the DCF Licensing Handbook, the manual. Those are used in every group and family child care center. It's the black and white of what to do and what not to do in a child care setting. We will get very familiar with it. We'll do a worksheet, I believe in week 3, where you'll have to do kind of like a scavenger hunt, just to kind of get familiar with the contents of it. So again, on the left column, scroll down to textbook links, and both of these will be there. Just know that you can always refer back to them to gain more insight, or just to use it as a resource. They're both great tools for that. One of the great resources that we can use in Blackboard is the calendar tab. So in Blackboard, on the main page, just a couple under the Start Here and syllabus where you found a lot of your materials so far, if you scroll down, you'll see one that says calendar. Use that calendar as a way of keeping track of your classes, your assignments, your due dates. All of the assignments that are due for health, safety, and nutrition, and for all of your classes, those are automatically put into your calendar, so it's nothing that you have to do. You can kind of just manage it and keep track of due dates. That's a great tool to use. Also, remember we talked about the content outline, so that's another great tool that you can use by saving it on your desktop or having a hard copy handy with all of your other materials. So just make sure that you kind of click through Blackboard specifically in this tab and take a look at how that works. Some important reminders that I want to go over. We've talked about a few of them already, but they are important, so I do want to touch on them. Our course is a competency-based course, which means all assignments have to be completed in order to be successful in the course. So what that means is you have to do your assignments, you have to do them well, and show an understanding of the material to meet those competencies and ultimately pass the course. I urge you to pay very close attention to the course material. Make sure that you are reviewing the PowerPoints, you're listening to the videos, you're taking notes on the material and resources and tools that are being given. Also pay close attention to any information, especially due dates or assignments. You'll want to keep track of that and stay on top of everything so that you don't fall behind. There will be a weekly discussion board prompt with required responses every week. We have assignments just about every week, maybe a week off here and there, but it's not too heavy of a load. A lot of the stuff is very content-based, so it's what we're learning. It's very specific. It's nothing that's going to take you hours and hours, but it is important information that you need to be able to do to, again, meet those competencies. So make sure that you are reviewing all of the information and all of the requirements in the assignments tab each week. Again, those prompts for the discussion board will be right in there. Make sure that you're organizing your time to be successful. Know that I will respond to email and prontos very quickly, but I try not to work on weekends, so I will not be available to answer your questions. So if it is time sensitive, make sure that you are reaching out before Friday evening. Otherwise, I can't promise a response before your assignment is due on Sundays. So again, make sure that you are reaching out. Keeping track of assignments, I would urge you to get started on assignments as soon as they're given so that it gives you time to do the assignment, ask your questions, and ultimately if you need to do revisions, you can get that done ahead of time as well. Review the rubrics before submitting any final work. Again, those rubrics are going to be the template and give you the how-tos of what to do with the assignments. So please make sure that you are reviewing your rubric before you're submitting your final work. I do expect at a college level that you are doing spell check, you are using proper punctuation, capitalization, good sentence structure. It should be easy to read and not like I'm reading a text message message from you to a friend. So please make sure they are done maturely, they are done at a college level, and use the resources and the tools that are given to you on Word, like Grammarly or spell check editor, that kind of thing. Lastly, again, I can't stress this enough. Please reach out to me if you do have questions. Email pronto, give me a phone call, stop in my office. I want to help you be successful, but I can't help if I don't know that you need help. So don't ever hesitate to reach out. We talked about the Blackboard module folders already a little bit in a couple slides ago, but I do want to just kind of highlight these things real quick. In each week, in the Blackboard module for each week, you're going to see 3 different sections. So the first section is going to be the learning expectations. That's going to highlight the course competencies as well as the topics or assignments to do or readings, you know, that type of thing. The next part is going to be the weekly content folder. That is, it's a visual learner focused PowerPoint. So very similar to what I'm doing right now. I will kind of talk through things because we can't be in person. I tend to do more things like this so that you really get a clear understanding of the material. I will also put in there in that weekly content folder, I will put in any articles, any resources, any extra tips or things that I want you to kind of hang on to, anything that's going to beef up the material that we're learning for that week. And then the third tab is going to be the assignment tab. So that's going to be where your assignments are all linked. That's where you're going to go to submit your assignments. So again, just kind of I try to make it as simple as possible, what we're learning, what the material it is, where to find it, and then where to do the assignments. So I keep everything laid out the same every week so you know the expectations and you understand what you're doing when you get into each week's module. Throughout this course content, you will be earning 3 different certificates. It is something that you are going to want to save. You will need them either when you're working in the field or when you are partaking in the field experience where you are working as a student teacher. These are things that are required of the field of our program at Fox Valley Tech. The first one that you will be earning is the abusive head trauma training. So it will be an online module that you click through the slides, you watch the videos, complete a couple quizzes, and then at the end you get your certificate once you've proven your understanding. The second one is the Sleep Baby Safe. So it talks about different ways to keep children safe while they're sleeping. It talks about SIDS, sudden infant death. So that is another one that you're going to want to keep. And then also the mandated reporter, child abuse prevention. So that is going to identify a lot of different ways that you can recognize child abuse, neglect, where to go if you need help, the expectations while you're in the field. So that's another very important one. All 3 of those you will get an actual certificate. So you'll want to save that probably on your computer because you will need to refer back to that again, like I said, either for your field experience opportunities or if you're working in the field. So as we kind of go through the course and we get to each of these different sections, there will be more information on how to do that. If you are already working in the field and have earned these certificates, I would recommend that you still go through and you watch the PowerPoints, you look at the material. It's always a really good refresher, but when it comes time to do the actual certificate part, all you will have to do is submit proof that you've received the certificate. So you won't have to go through the actual training again, but it's still great material to review and refresh your memory. Again, I'll have more information about those as we get to each of those weeks throughout the course. To improve our understanding of an issue, we have to compare the right way of doing something to the wrong way. That is the way that children's brains are hardwired to understand. We talk about unsafe situations, unhealthy situations, unnutritious situations. So we have to compare the right way of doing it, the expectations that we have to follow, as well as just what's in the best interest of children to maybe the way that they're currently doing it. Or the wrong way, we say. So it's just a really good strategy. Again, this is how children's brains are hardwired to understand the approach. So that's going to be something we touch on in this first couple weeks of the course material. What comes to mind when I say health, safety, and nutrition. I want you to reflect for a few minutes and just think about it. Think about health, safety, and nutrition as a whole, and also think about them as individual entities. What does children's health look like? What does their safety look like? What does nutrition look like for a child or a group of children, either in a family childcare setting or in a group childcare setting? I want you to take out a piece of paper. I want you to write down what you think each topic means, and then I also want you to write down how you think it relates to children and the child care setting. What are some important things we need to consider? What are some things that might stand in our way of being an efficient educator? What does each topic mean in early childhood family for families, for children, and then also for staff? Because even though we're talking about health, safety, and nutrition for children and the child care setting, it still relates to staff, and there are a lot of requirements that we have to meet as staff. So get out a piece of paper, take a few minutes, and just kind of write down the first few things that come to your mind, make a little chart, and we're going to kind of go from there. Now that you have brainstormed about children's health, safety, and nutrition and have written down hopefully a good list in each topic, I want you to open a Google tab on your internet browser, and I want you to search these 3 topics: children's health, child nutrition, and child safety. Research them individually, just type in one thing at a time, and I want you to either click on the links that come up when you search it, or I want you to look at the images that are pulled up, and I want you to consider the things that you found on the internet when you do these searches and relate it to what you thought you knew about health, safety, and nutrition before you started looking into it. Consider what you knew already, what you didn't know, and maybe what you didn't even consider before we started talking about this and really brainstorming what it means. If you're working in the field, you might have a really great starting base of what children's health, safety, and nutrition looks like. If you're not in the field yet, or if you're new to the field, that might be a little bit less information than what you think you have. So go ahead and just do a search, write down some notes. You definitely want to keep this stuff for next week when we get into the interrelationships of health, safety, and nutrition, but do some searching, see what you come up and find, and we'll talk about more of this a little bit later next week. Hopefully by now you have done your research and have started to look at what health, safety, and nutrition means in an early childhood setting. And I'm hoping that you're starting to see the connections that children's health, safety, and nutrition are interrelated. You will see that you can't have one without the other, and we're going to dig into that a lot next week. As you've learned so far, hopefully through your research and just kind of doing your reading, that health, safety, and nutrition are interrelated. One does not exist without the other. And every decision that you as an educator makes, as a family member or a parent, guardian make for children, it all makes an effect and has an effect on each section. We are going to dig into this much more next week when we talk about promoting good health and interrelationships of health, safety, and nutrition, specifically next week, and what that looks like not only for children, but again for staff and for families in a child care setting. We're going to dig into them specifically individually, but then also we're going to do some brainstorming on how they might be interrelated and what that actually might look like in an early childhood field. We are at our last slide for week 1. This is going to give you, our last slide is always going to talk about the assignments that are going to be due for the week. This week, all you have is a discussion board prompt. So what I want you to do is go in Blackboard. You're going to click on the discussion board tab. It's going to be on the left-hand side on that column. You're going to click on discussion board, and then you're going to click on week 1 discussion and create a thread. We're going to do this every week for your discussion board. You can find the specific prompt for each week by going into the assignments folder. So again, you'll remember when you click on week 1, you're going to see the learning expectations, the weekly content folder, and then the assignments folder. When you click on the assignment folder, you're going to see discussion board prompt. If you read a little further, it will tell you what specifically that prompt is for the week. So go ahead into the week 1 assignments tab, take a look at what the prompt is, and then I want want you to answer the prompt in the discussion board using detailed information. Again, making sure that you're using complete sentences, proper spelling and grammar, using appropriate sentence structures with punctuation, capitalization, all that good stuff that we expect at college. But I also want to make sure that you are understanding the content. So I want you to, this week is more kind of just like a get to know you, but as we move into the different discussion boards each week, it's really going to show me your understanding of the material and just kind of how you're growing your knowledge and understanding of health, safety, and nutrition. Not only do you have to do an original post, but you also need to then reply to 2 classmates. I either want you to relate to something they've posted, add a new perspective, pose a question, something to enrich the conversation, and then I want you to circle back throughout the week to continue those conversations. These discussion boards, I don't want them to just to be where you log in one day, do all of your responses, and then you're done. I really want this to be substantial. I want you to grow your understanding, not just from the material and resources that you learn from myself through the course, but also from each other. What's very unique about our program, about our department, is that so many of the students already work in the field, so they are able to relate the content to real life situations. So the discussion boards are a great way to learn from your peers and also just kind of open up your own mind to new perspectives or different ideas. So again, make sure that you are responding to at least 2 classmates. Again, make sure that you're reviewing the discussion board expectations and grading guidelines prior to doing that. For week 1, all of your posts are due by Sunday the 21st at midnight. Again, try not to go on just on Sunday and do all of your posts on one day. Really spread it out. Give yourself time to digest the information and everything that you've learned, and just make sure that all of those are complete by Sunday at midnight. As always, if you have any questions, reach out. Don't hesitate. I'm here to help you. And I will see you all next week.